Buonasera, Picciati. I'm Mimmo Quartararo. Tonight, I'll tell you how Al Capone got that famous scar on his face. Back in 1917, at the Harvard Inn in Brooklyn, when Frankie Galluccio carved him after a fresh remark about his sister. It was a summer night on Surf Avenue. The boards still warm from the sun. The air greasy with sausage smoke and hot beer. The Harvard Inn had a band that could rattle your teeth, and a floor full of sailors, dock apes, and girls chasing the hum of Saturday. I was a runner for Frankie Yale then, collecting tabs, pushing the cigarette machine when it jammed, passing notes to the back room when a cop needed a smile. Al worked the front. Big kid. More baby fat than menace. A bouncer with quick fists and a grin that said he liked trouble. We called him Al. Sometimes Kid Capone. He was still learning the lines between charm and insult. The Galluccios came in late. Frankie was a stocky paisa with a steam fit his shoulders and eyes like burnt coffee. He brought his sister, a quiet thing with a violet scarf and a stare that kept walls up. The crowd parted for them. Respect. You don't mess with a man's familia. Not in that room. Al saw her before the band hit the next tune. He leaned on the brass rail like a king. "Way, sweetheart," he says, loud enough to be funny, quiet enough to pretend it ain't. "That dress, Mamma Mia, it's doing all the talking." Ha. He thought it was a harmless crack, a wink with teeth. He was 19. The room bent around the sound like it knew what came next. Frankie Galluccio stepped in front of his sister. No big speech, no stamping feet, just that look. "You talking to her?" he says. "Or you talking at her?" Al squared, chin up. Pride, our worst saint. He smirked. "Relax, paisa. I meant it as a compliment." "Compliment this," Frankie says. And the blade was already in his hand. Small knife, kitchen steel. It flashed once, twice, 3 times. The music snapped off like someone cut the wire. Al went back on the rail, palm slapped to his cheek, blood moving fast. You want to know how quiet a bar can get? Like a church with no God in it. I grabbed a towel, pressed it hard. "Amuni, figu," I told him, "hold still." He tried to stand like it was nothing, and his knees disagreed. Yale came out from the back, tall, pressed, a shadow made of money and patience. He looked at me, then at the room. "Who started it?" he says, not asking. He knew. We all knew. I nodded toward the floor where the blade had been kicked under a table, where Galluccio stood with his hands open, his sister behind him like a ghost. "Back room," Yale said, "all of you." We hauled Al through the kitchen, sausages hissing, steam on tile, and into the office where the desk was neat and the chair heavy. I held the towel while the house doctor stitched. He didn't talk, just sewed. The thread tugging like a dull fish on a line. Al's jaw was set hard. He wanted to spit nails. He wanted to show he was the storm, not the roof. Yale lit a cigarette and didn't offer. "You don't insult a man's sister," he told Al. "Not here. Not anywhere." He turned to me. Mimmo, bring Frankie in. Galluccio came in ready to die or to leave, either way quick. He wasn't proud. He wasn't sorry. He was the rule with a pulse. His sister stayed behind the kitchen door. "You finished?" he asked the doctor. "Almost," the doc said, eyes on the work. "Listen," Yale said, soft, dangerous. "This ain't the street. This is my place. We don't spill blood about nothing. And when we do, we mop it the right way. Capone said something he shouldn't. You answered. Now we close it." Al wanted to argue. He swallowed it. Blood makes a man taste his words. He looked at Galluccio. "I was out of line," he said, voice low. "I disrespected your sister. I apologize." That's how men did it when we had more code than religion. No lawyers, no badge, just a sentence that went in your bones. Galluccio nodded once. "You don't talk like that again," he said. "Not to her, not to nobody's sister." They shook. I slid an envelope to Frankie. Doctor's fee, drinks, whatever dignity money can pretend to buy. He took it without counting. He left with his sister, no music following. Al hated the nickname that came after, Scarface. He turned his head for photos, showed the other side, like the left cheek didn't exist. But you live by the blade, by the bottle, by the bet. You carry the receipt on your skin. He got tougher after that. Not meaner, just cold. He could smile through pain and figure who owed who from the way a man's eyes slid off a debt. I watched him bounce a drunk without blinking. Watched him stand in a doorway like a judgment. The scar did what 1,000 rumble nights couldn't. It taught him the cost of words. 2 weeks later, I'm at a Sunday table in Bensonhurst, my Zia stirring gravy, uncles arguing about the war. A cousin mouths off about somebody's girl and gets a wooden spoon right across his knuckles. "Watch your tongue," she says. "Tongue is a blade you can't hide." I thought of the office light on Yale's cufflinks, of Al squeezing that towel, of Galluccio's eyes that didn't dance. Same lesson, different weapon. Years rolled and boys turned into bosses or ghosts. We made deals in booths where the varnish never dried. We passed envelopes, broke bread, buried friends. The ones who lasted knew the quiet parts of the code. You don't touch family. You say you're sorry when you're wrong. And you let a thing end when a handshake says it's over. Betrayal is loud. Honor is a nod. Silence. Silence is the music men like us dance to. Al kept that mark like a saint keeps a wound, whether he liked it or not. It opened doors and closed others. Me, I carried it in my head. The way a room stopped breathing. The way a simple sentence cut deeper than a knife when it came from the right mouth. The streets remember the night better than the newspapers do. You want to know what I learned that summer? Don't let your mouth write checks your blood's got to cash. Keep the code. Keep the nods. And if you got something to say about a man's sister, swallow it with your drink and leave a bigger tip.